Hi everybody, Colin Stevenson here, joined by my hero and my sensei, John Lenhart. Hi John.
Hi.
And today we are going to have a fantastic conversation about Exhorter-HOW, Intangible Driver. Now we've done Exhorter-Y. We will be having more content coming towards you all from actual exhorters at some point to allow you to help understand. Now, today, the exhorter we've left till last because they're quite complicated to understand sometimes, aren't they, John?
Right. So the thing is that we talk about the why and the how. The why is the effect the person wants to have on other people. An exhorter Y wants other people to be excited. The how is what they actually do. Exhorter hows are very big, dramatic. So when you see someone, you go, wow, they're so dramatic when they talk. That's because they're Exhorter-HOW. And so that's what we're looking at, is these people that are Exhorter-HOW.
Yeah. Now, sometimes exhorters can come across as self-centered. They can come across as people that only care about themselves, when in the matter of the fact, they just want to be understood so that then they can be balanced in any type of relationship, conversation, you know, and when they don't feel that that comes on, they're not able to then express themselves in the way that they would like. And it almost, I believe, could come across forcefully.
Right. So what happens is the why, we all want to feel connected. So exhorter Ys want you to feel what they're feeling. And the way to get along with exhorter Y is to match their emotions. What makes this difficult is, so the why, we're going to go through all 7 whys, but it's hard to figure out what these people want you to do in order to feel connected, because everything comes out very dramatic and it's very distracting. So our first one is Perceiver-exhorter. They want you to be aware and they get very dramatic. We said Perceiver-wise or comedian. So someone like Louis C.K. is a Perceiver-exhorter. One of the more famous Perceiver-exhorters that we all know is the Joker.
Yeah.
The Joker is very dramatic and he's trying to make you aware of something, and he actually makes sense. What he's saying, if you think about what he's saying, it actually is factually correct, but he does everything, you know, why so serious? It's very dramatic. But what he wants you to do is be aware. He gets very dramatic, but he's trying to make you aware of a fact.
Yeah. Now, just while you're talking about the Joker, there's a lot of people, you know, we've got the heroes and villains. There's a lot of people that don't actually look at the Joker like a villain. Is this because they get him in their exhorter house as well? Or is this because they just understand what he's talking about?
It's the perceiver. The Joker is actually making factual statements. If you just ignore how he says it dramatically, and you just read what he says, it's factual. He is making factual claims, which is what the perceiver does. It's the dramatic nature that throws you off. Sarcasm. People who are Perceiver-exhorter come off as sarcastic. They want you to be aware, and the way they do it is they make you aware by making this big dramatic statement. And that's how that comes off that way. Teacher-exhorter, we talked about this before. Chris Traeger from Parks and Rec is teacher-exhorter, but a personal trainer is a great example of teacher-exhorter. A personal trainer has all these facts about how you can build your muscle and do all these things right, and they want you to understand that. But the way they do it is come on, go. You can do it. You can work harder. You can try harder. Come on, get up off the couch and let's go. Yeah. And so you see the exhorting, but behind it is all these facts and these understandings, and everything that they're saying emotionally is being supported by something logical.
Yeah, and just while it's amazing just to just go off kind of target for a second, the intangible drivers can actually tell people the jobs that they'll be suited to, you know, that's going to allow them to gain energy while they're at work. And this is very, very difficult. Now, we'll probably do an episode or 2 on this at some point later on. But when you've got somebody that's kind of compassion server like me, and I bring myself up because I wouldn't be the best personal trainer. I would want to work on them emotionally to allow them. I want to bear their pain, not give them facts. I want to take that away, and then I could serve them as an exhorter, but the compassion would have my heartstrings kind of pulled, which means I would get more personally involved.
Right. So there are certain occupations that fit these intangible drivers, and that's why more people do those jobs. It doesn't mean you couldn't do a job if you don't have the intangible driver, but you're going to have to go out of your way to adjust. We talked about Dave Chappelle and John Mayer changing how they do their process because they're actually opposites. So you bring up compassion, you're a compassion server. So what would compassion exhorter look like? What does it look like when Colin is very dramatic? Well, two examples. One is Ron Weasley. Ron Weasley from Harry Potter is compassion exhorter. So he can look very out of control because he's feeling this pain and then it comes out very dramatic. A better example is Lin-Manuel Miranda, the one who created Hamilton.
Yeah.
And he'll look at people with these adoring eyes. He feels what they're feeling, but then the people say, find someone who looks at you the way Lin-Manuel looks at somebody. And that's the exhorter. The exhorter is very dramatic.
Yeah.
Lin-Manuel seems to be real outgoing, but in every interview he goes, I'm a really shy person. I'm a real, he's a real caring person. He's really compassionate is who he really is. But what you see is the exhorter, the energy and everything else. So that's what you look like when you are exhorting, Colin.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. So, and again, it's about having that awareness of being able to switch off, that kind of personal connection, what you're feeling, that sixth sense to what's actually going on in the situation that needs to be done. And I think through life, I'm able to be a lot more aware of that. And especially since I've met you. But I think other people, so I could be a personal trainer, but I would need to understand why I'm doing it and really kind of put a barrier, between my compassion and what I'm actually trying to put information-wise.
Right, you'd have to make another adjustment step to do it. Giver-exhorter are these fundraisers. They if you think about telethons and stuff, they're trying to exhort you to give, and that's what they want to do. So there'll be these giver-exhorters. They'll do that. They'll try to get you to do that. The server-exhorters are really interesting. I see a lot more exhorter servers, like our friend Dom is exhorter server. There's very few server-exhorters, and these people, the server can see all these ways around it, and then the exhorter's got all this energy. So what happens with the server-exhorter, it's almost like being at a pep rally. Like they're going to find 7 ways to get you jacked up, and they're going to just do that, and you don't even have to stand a chance. They will make sure that you have all this energy and you're got a ton of energy and you're all pepped up.
But the server's hard to the server why is hard to pinpoint who they are and what they stand for. And I found server-exhorter. We have a mutual friend that I won't mention just in case he doesn't want to be aired with his name, but we've got a server-exhorter friend, a mutual friend that we speak to, and I had a conversation with him and I sent him the server video and he says, yes, I can totally get that. And the exhorter hadn't been done because we're doing it today, so that I'm able to send him that. Now, I was explaining through kind of him and I relationship and other different, I was like, is this what you feel and do you feel this? And it's not picked up on, like, he's like, yes. And he understands. So while we're on the subject of server-exhorter, how would you say for them to be how can they make themselves more understood by other people?
That server Y needs to explain to people why they're doing the exhorting. In this case, server-exhorter. There's 7 reasons why they could be doing it. People don't know why they're doing it. That's why people are skeptical of them.
Yep.
And we teach server Ys to say, here's why I'm saying this. And there's only 7 reasons, the ones we're going through that he could be trying to make you aware, he could be trying to make you understand. The thing is he could do all of those. And that's what's tough to follow. And he could do it a sentence at a time. He could be doing it to perceive for one sentence and then teach the next sentence. So that's the key. But again, server-wise, very powerful. But if people don't understand why you're doing it, they're going to be skeptical.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Administrator-exhorter. So one of my favorite administrator-exhorters is Jimmy Johnson. He's a former coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And he'll talk very pumped up, but he's trying to get everybody in the same place. The thing is we all know a very famous administrator-exhorter. And when you realize this about the person, it starts making more sense. Because remember, an exhorter wants you to feel what they're feeling. And if you don't feel it, they'll start altering what they're saying because they're going for this feeling. Administrator-exhorter, Donald Trump is an administrator-exhorter.
Yeah, yeah.
In his inauguration speech, he used the word we 45 times. That's the administrator coming out. We. It's all about we. But the exhorter is huge. Everything's huge. Everything's big. Everything's huge. Everything's great. Everything's awesome. Everything's amazing. And the thing is administrator-exhorter is very forward. They seem very positive. They give people a lot of energy. If people want energy, especially if you're watching reality TV, you want a guy who's administrator-exhorter. Exhorter-HOWs are entertainers.
Yeah.
And the thing is they're about the future. You try to talk about the past, and they'll say something quick, not necessarily make things up. They're not necessarily lying, but they don't get energy talking about the past. Yeah. If you see someone who is a forward like this, administrator-exhorter, and you start talking to them about the past, they get no energy. They don't want to do it at all. And that's the quickest way to drain them and make them upset. Let's talk about the past.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. So that makes complete sense as to why some people like him. Never mind, take away the politics and the everything and what he said and what he's done. It makes complete sense why so many people either do or don't like Donald Trump. And it's because they either like the exhorting or they don't. The administrator side of things, again, it is forward, but it's putting people in the right place to get the job done. There's the administrator, but the exhorting is how it comes across, and people will find him too much. People will find him, but some people will resonate because they want to feel jacked up about their country, so it's finding that kind of happy balance. But I believe if all politicians or people running for office were understood due to their uniqueness, it would be a different polling at the stations.
Right. So a lot of what he did was distract people. And so the reason why people liked him is they either were forward, or it was a show and it was a distraction from their life. Who wouldn't like Donald Trump? Perceivers, people who are like, this is the fact. And if you look at any of the tweets or any of the people who write stuff against Donald Trump, they'll write he doesn't say this, he didn't do this, he spelled this wrong, he spelled this tweet wrong, he spelled that tweet wrong. Teachers, he didn't have this fact right, he didn't understand this, no, that's not accurate, no, this is the actual data. Compassion, when he's yelling and putting people down, do you think compassion, people like that? So those first three are all backwards, they're all past focused. And those first three are not going to like someone who's forward, especially as extreme as that is. Yeah, and then finally, exhorter-exhorter. So the thing is this is, a lot of exhorter servers will go to exhorter-exhorter. They're like the hype man. They're the guy who gives the talk pre-game. They're the motivational speaker. They are going to just be like all energy, all big, all saying just these outrageous things, and no one knows what they're doing. There's a football player in the United States, Ray Lewis, who gives these speeches. And if you ever watch a Ray Lewis speech and you want to see what exhorter looks like, he is shaking and energized, and you sometimes you see some of the players look at each other like, what is he saying? I have no idea what he's saying, but he has got a lot of energy. And it's like, there it is. There's your exhorter-exhorter.
So does exhorter-exhorter do they need the feeling to come back to them, or do they just keep going?
You know, it's funny you say that, because I have seen exhorter-wise give speeches, give talks, and they can't end the talk unless people mirror back their emotion. So what happens is their talk is over, but they wanted everybody to feel this, and they look around, and then they keep talking. And they start making things up, or they start getting bigger because they want everybody to mirror that emotion. The quicker you'd mirror that emotion, the quicker he'd be done.
Yeah.
Exhorter, the more you mirror, like a hype man, the more you mirror his emotion, the longer he's gonna go. So you gotta watch out. Like, if people got really excited while Ray Lewis was talking, Ray Lewis might never stop talking.
That's exactly why I asked the question, because I was trying to put them both together and thinking, well, if they keep talking and it's not replicated, they will take a step back usually, and they'll feel a bit disheartened. But if they're able to keep going and people were pumping up, it's going to be non-stop, and you can actually see these people talking for a lot longer than what they should. But,
right, so Exhorter-Y would stop when people got there.
Yep.
This Exhorter-HOW would not stop.
Yeah, I get that. That makes complete sense. So, right, okay. So in terms of exhorter, these people are not selfish, John. They're
Right.
They're not selfish. And do you know, when you hear people, they say all they did was they talk about themselves, and all the selfishness for me is an act. And that's like taking something only for me and I don't want to share. That's selfish. Talking about me, if somebody just gives that excitement the same, or the sadness the same, anything the same, they will usually find that the conversation is now open to the other person.
Right, talking about yourself is sharing.
Yeah.
And you and I like it when people share with us. So there's nothing wrong with talking about yourself. That's sharing. The issue comes in that your uniqueness, the reason why you talk is to feel a connection. A perceiver points something out, and when you say, I see that, they feel connected. An exhorter talks, and if we don't mirror back the same emotion, they don't feel connected, and all they can do is talk about themselves more. And that's where that gets misconstrued. People go, well, he talks about himself so much, he's looking for you to feel what he's feeling. That's how an exhorter feels connected. An exhorter feels connected to you completely by the emotion and not by the facts. Yeah. A perceiver feels connected by the facts and not about the emotion at all. Yeah.
That's amazing. No, it's perfect. And you know, I think this video is definitely going to help a lot of people. And we will have more content in the future, but we have now done all 7 whys and all 7 hows, which means anybody that does a test, we are able to give them offhand straight onto the YouTube channel, and they can go and pick their own videos to learn more about them and other people, which again is completely free and is to allow people to have a more energetic life. So thank you very much again, John. It's very much appreciated. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.